tag team champions in WWF history.
Playoffs?
It's me. It's me.
Playoffs?
It's
I just hope we don't win a game. Another game.
Going once again with that big double dip.
Play to win the game. You don't play to just play.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
That's the great thing about sport.
Proudly brings to you, it's WWF Tag Team Champion of the World.
Pump it in there, baby. Just keep matriculating the ball down the field, boys.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen. James out west. I almost said September. October 7th, 2020. We're back here for week 5 of the NFL season. I brought my buddy Ryan Rooks back with me because he talked some shit last week.
Thank you.
And I don't think his team was successful in that shit talking, but we will get there. With that being said, brother, how was your week?
It was good.
Good.
Yeah.
Other
Besides
than
49,
Sunday?
besides that, but yeah, it was good. I can't complain.
I mean, they could have won that game.
3 interceptions.
They could have won that game.
My call out on Mullins maybe be a little bit off.
Well, I mean, they pulled him.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, usually when the guy that goes in doesn't even get the full game. I mean, so what happens next? Well, I guess this week. Are they going to go with,
As of right now, it's Mullins.
okay.
Garoppolo's still questionable. Highly doubt he plays. I still think they'll swap Mullins.
Okay. And we will get to that game. So, like we usually do, we just follow the roster all the way down. Now, there's a couple of games that are up in question as of today. Tennessee Titans, another player tested positive. We've got Stephon Gilmore. I think I was saying that right. Stephon.
Patriots.
Yep, Patriots. Best defensive player, bottom line. COVID. You saw him basically hugging Pat Mahomes at the end of the game. He covered Tyreek Hill for 4 quarters. This could have a lasting impact on the league that I'm afraid, because my Brownies are pretty good right now. This would be such a Browns thing to have happen, where we're really good and the season gets postponed because people can't keep themselves in check.
You had one really good game.
Oh, we're 3-1. We had
Okay.
2 really good games.
Okay.
We had 2 really good
Okay.
games. That Bengals game was really good. That Washington game was not,
No.
but the Cowboys game.
This was
which we will.
the weapon showed up.
Oh, yeah. I think that has a lot to do with the head coach and that we have adults running the show.
And OBJ took his Wheaties that morning.
Yeah.
That was
They were
impressive.
ready. They have to get him going early, just like any of these diva. I don't want to call him a diva. Any high-profile receiver that doesn't get the ball early typically loses interest in the game. It's just like a center fielder in 4th or 5th grade. If they ain't getting the ball hit to him, they're picking daisies. The same concept. He's just out there talking trash. Going, but he likes to block. I mean, if they're winning, like they say, if they're winning, then that's all that matters. He doesn't care if he has 4 catches or 14 catches. If they win, they win. And I want to see that happen because now they're winning. No one's running their mouth.
Clears it all.
Yep.
Win?
Winning,
Good.
does, unless you're Bill O'Brien. But let's get into the Thursday night game. We got the Tampa Bay Gronkaneers at the Chicago Bears. And the Bears are a 4.5-point underdog. So it's Tampa Bay minus 4.5. Chicago starting Nicky Foles.
Mm-hmm.
At home, I think they're a Fugazi 3-0. Or 4-0, 3-0, 4-0. They're 4-0, right? They didn't lose.
No?
I don't think Chicago lost.
We're 3-1.
3-1. Either way, they're going to be 3-2.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay is going to win this one. I think they cover that. They probably win by about 10. Thursday night games are never really fun to watch. It seems like this should be a good matchup for ratings. A lot of people in Chicago, want to watch the Bears, et cetera, et cetera. But either Tampa Bay, which they don't have all the kinks worked out, see how they do against this Chicago defense, and Tom Brady being down a couple of weapons. This will make Tom show up. It's outdoors. It could be a little windy. It's October. Soldier Field.
Brady's used to that.
Yeah.
I think Tampa Bay controls this game. I don't think there's even close. I think Tampa Bay takes it.
Fantastic. All right, so let's move on. We got the Cincinnati Bengals. Joey Burrow getting his first victory at the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Baltimore Ravens being a 13-point favorite. That's a big point spread. Baltimore showed how they could be beat. Showed that you can control them somewhat. but I don't think the Bengals can do that. So I haven't even circled it yet, but talking to myself into it, I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens at minus 13.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think their defense gets off on Joey Burrow and those guys. I think Mixon had his game of the year. I don't think it'll be a problem to win. Would I be surprised if Cincy in the late end covers the spread by a few, no, but my guess is you got to go with Baltimore.
I love Burrow. I think that Baltimore's going to cover no matter. It's not going to be close, but it could come down to where it's going to be right at the end. They might put up something to where they cover spread.
Yep.
But I think Baltimore's got it.
Well, look at last night. Not that I want to get into basketball, but you look at last night, the spread for the Lakers, and they had it with about 4 seconds left, and then dude hits a three. They don't cover.
Right.
How many people had that bet that were celebrating? I was watching the internet, people celebrating with it on behind them. Woo, we're going to win. Count that money. And then dude hit a three. He just fell over. Just fell over. It was hysterical. Now, the next game on the list here, we got Buffalo at Tennessee. That may not happen. Tennessee's facility been shut down again.
Again today.
There's reports that possibly players were getting together to work off site while they were out. That could potentially have led to this. There's a lot of
investigating it today, right?
Yeah.
Starting that?
So what happens here potentially? Maybe they have to forfeit the game and Buffalo gets a win and Tennessee has to take the loss because they've already suspended stuff where the other game was already canceled and postponed to week 8 with Pittsburgh.
Right,
so they don't have to do anything with that one yet. But this one they might have to do that with. So not picking this game because there's no point spread. There's nobody on there. But for giggles, I was going to take Buffalo anyways.
I was going to take Buffalo.
Okay.
They have the best wide receiver in the game right now.
Oh, Stephon Diggs?
Yeah.
He's playing like it. He's just trying to prove everybody wrong.
Oh, yeah.
That he shouldn't have been. But he was upset with, I think maybe he was upset with the fact that he wasn't celebrated more for the Minneapolis Miracle than they were. If that happened to get them into the Super Bowl, he celebrated forever. This happened to happen so they could get to the NFC Championship game and then didn't show up against the Philadelphia Eagles that ended up winning the Super Bowl in Minneapolis.
Right.
So I think he was just holding on to that because he is balling out like 2 years ago.
He's doing it, man. This year he's the number one right now.
It's.
I know there's a lot of people out hurt. Michael Thomas, Julio.
Yeah, there's a lot that aren't.
Correct.
So I'll give him the credit. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Now the next game for the locals. Your Arizona Redbirds, the Cardinals, my stank-ass team of the week a couple weeks ago, didn't make it any better last week. And now they're going to a pitiful New York Jets that is not starting Sam Darnold. That's starting Joe Flacco.
For the first time in, 3 years?
Yeah. Now, I will say this. This is the type of game that the stinking Cardinals would lose. They are favored by 7. There's no way that Cliff Kingsbury can have this go down as a defeat. He's got to try to blow the doors off of the worst team in the NFL. So I'll take them -7. I don't think the Jets stand a chance, but it would be a very Cardinals thing for them to have come out so strong against the Niners and in week 2 look great to have this happen to them. It's a must win. I can't even believe we're saying in week 5 a must win, but it's a must win for the Arizona Cardinals.
I absolutely agree. I think I take Arizona. I'm more so curious. They're 0-4. They're changing their starter. Is the coach next?
He should have been already gone. So Adam Gase is probably waiting for Friday morning to be fired. Seriously. We'll see with the play calling. If he's very conservative, he's trying to hold on to his job. If you see some trickery, some trickeration from the Jets, you see an onside kick from the Jets, you see some wrinkle in the way they're playing, it's because he's coaching for his job.
Right.
If he's staying conservative, he's either, forget it, I'm already going to get fired, or, hey, I don't want to be embarrassed. I think if he goes deep in the playbook, he's fighting for his job.
I think he's gone after this week. I mean,
Yeah.
It's going to be rough.
It is going to be rough.
Unless they pull off some miracle, or like you said, he shows something different with his play calling and completely changed.
It's going to be interesting. We'll see. And it comes down to also Cliff Kingsbury getting back to what works. And I think that's a nice balance of the run and pass using Drake. I don't know. I don't want him to use him this week. I'm going against him in fantasy. But, I mean, if they want to win, he needs to use Drake a little bit more. Now, moving on to the Battle of Pennsylvania, okay? We got the Philadelphia Eagles and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, this is in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a -7 favorite. They're pissed off because they didn't get to play Tennessee. They feel like they got the short end of the stick. They had to take a bye week early for a veteran team.
Oh, Ben's pissed.
Yeah, and you got Philly coming in there.
Right.
Philly barely got by your Niners. Both teams, as far as the Niners and Philly, beat up. This comes down to, who do I trust more? Well, both coaches have a Super Bowl. Both coaches have starting quarterbacks that everybody loves. I'm going to go with the experience and with the Steelers. Minus the 7. I think they win by 10 or more.
I agree. I think Pittsburgh is going to take this. Carson Wentz has 7 interceptions already this year. It's a lot.
Going to have about 2 more next week.
Probably. And Pittsburgh's coming off their bye, so they're rested.
Yeah, they're rested.
They're motivated. Ben's pissed. Pittsburgh's got it.
That's why if anybody is playing fantasy football, if Ben Roethlisberger's out there and available, you need to pick him up. All right, moving on. Jacksonville at Houston. The Houston, no longer our head coach, Billy O'Brien, Billy Stooge, Texans, with Romeo Crennel, the king of interim head coaches. Everybody loves Romeo. He's 73. He's been coaching the league since he was 33. Like, he's been around forever. Are they going to be jacked up and juiced to play Gardner Minshew Maney and the Jacksonville Jaguars? Vegas says so. Vegas says minus 6. They believe in this. They're going to come out and play free and play loose because Billy O. Stooge ain't running the show no more. I have not circled this game yet. Unfortunately, I think the slide continues. I'm going to take Jacksonville plus 6.
I completely agree. I think Houston's already on their way down. I mean, just because you're going to get some excitement from a new coach, it doesn't change the way you're playing. It's not going to dramatically make a difference. I think Jacksonville's on their way up. I think
Houston's on their way down.
Minshew's, he's doing things.
I like it. I just feel like, they got rid of him. And they're going to play, like I said, they're probably going to play a little loose, but that doesn't mean, like you said, talent-wise, it's going to be anything different than what it is. J.J. Watt's going to try to get off, and he probably does. That doesn't mean they win. They're going to need J.J. Watt to score touchdowns if they want to win.
Yep.
Which he can. All right. Carolina.
As a tight end?
As a tight end. He's going to have to strip sack the ball, fumble recovery, score the touchdown, and then make the 2-point conversion.
Yep.
Moving on. Carolina Panthers, Teddy Two Gloves at the Atlanta Falcons. The other
0-14.
Yeah, coaching hot seat. You saw what Aaron MVP Petty Rogers was able to do with 3 guys that come off the practice squad and play that week. It doesn't matter. He is that good, but this also is Atlanta's defense that bad. They are at home. They don't know what to do. They are a minus 2.5 point favorite. That's got me taking Carolina already because I thought Carolina was going to win to begin with. I think Carolina's doing things right. They're a more balanced offense now that Christian McCaffrey's not in. You want your best player 100%, but from a team perspective, they're getting through this lull of missing the best running back in the game,
right,
minus maybe Nick Chubb, who they're missing. We'll get to that later. They're doing a wonderful job. I think that continuity continues, especially against a bad team in Atlanta. I'll take Carolina plus the 2.5.
I do opposite. I'm going to take Atlanta.
Ooh.
This is one of those games they have to win. Atlanta's
Didn't they have to win last week?
Well, yeah, so now they have to win. This is just I don't see this team going 0-5. I think this is a Matt Ryan-led team. Even though you're down Julio, you got to win this week. I'm taking Atlanta.
All right. So now this next game, man, this is a high point spread again. The Las Vegas Raiders at Kansas City. Kansas City going to have about 12,000 fans or so. They'll be loud. They're a minus 13. Minus 13. We're talking 2 touchdowns against the Raiders. The Raiders can score. The Raiders defense can't stop as much. I have not picked this game yet. I think Kansas City showed what a lull looks like at times and how they can battle back from it like they've done time and time and time again. I'm going to take Kansas City minus the 13. I just don't think the Raiders have the horses for it to keep up with them, especially as you move on late into the game when you get, Kansas City gets an opportunistic turnover and they score. All of a sudden they were up 10. Now they're up 17 like that. I think Kansas City is just too powerful in the horses.
I agree. Unless for some reason Patrick Mahomes gets the COVID, I'm taking Kansas City.
Okay, there you go. That's the caveat. If they cancel the game or postpone the game, Kansas City doesn't win. That's a good call. All right. Now moving on to the Los Angeles Rams, kind of a surprise team in the sense that they kind of did an overhaul with some things. They kind of forgot who they were last year. The defense is coming through. They're at the Washington football team. who just benched
Haskins.
Not even benched him and put him as the backup. They put him to the third.
Alex Smith is number
Alex
two.
Smith is backup. Now, I don't know how often this has happened in NFL history. I don't have a stat team yet to figure this out, but I don't think a guy's gone from starting to third string without it being an injury or the original starter coming back. Like, he is the original starter.
And Rivera praised him at the beginning of the season. There's more to this.
100%. I think they don't want to win some games. So I just think they want to get rid of everybody involved. Either way, it's a 7.5 point spread for the Rams. I'll take that. They'll win by 20.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see Kyle Allen, see what he can do in a new system. Super excited that Alex Smith is back in the league. If you've seen what that guy's gone through in his leg, that's
I hope he does not need to see, I hope he does not ever have to see the field.
Yeah.
His leg.
It's good for him to see
for
where
him,
he's at now.
let me put the caveat on that. If that is his choice, that's his body, his choice. I'm not getting political. His body, his choice. Okay, ladies? His body, his choice. But what I'm getting at is if that's what he wants to do, that's up to him and praise him. But seeing somebody go through what he went through and then looking at the leg after.
Oh, yeah.
And seeing that, it's like I cannot imagine a 285-pound, 6'4", 4.2 running maniac with a helmet on coming in to sack you and that holding up. I can't. Again, obviously it's his. But, oh my goodness, man! I just get queasy looking at it.
Yeah, think about that. What if Kyle Allen sucks? They put in Alex Smith and Aaron Donald just comes off the edge on the first game. Oh man,
you shouldn't say that.
Knock on wood. I apologize.
The Joe Theismann.
Yes.
I mean, he got Theismann already. Now he's with the Washington football team. I almost said the other word. The Washington football team. Either way, they're out. They're going to lose. Rams got this.
Yeah.
All right. Now this next game I have not picked, and this is your team. The Miami football Dolphins are at the San Francisco 49ers. Now, the Niners could have beat Philly last week.
So frustrating.
I will let you speak more on this game. It's -8. The Niners are favored by 8. Does that feel like a Fitz magic day, or is this where we see Tua because your Niners defense picks him off early and they say, all right, let's go with the young kid?
I wouldn't be surprised if we see Tua early. I mean, they were talking about it last week. I still take the Niners. Obviously, I'm favored. Mm-hmm. I think that Shanahan figures some things out. He's pretty crafty.
Yeah, he is.
And
no, he's got a great offensive mind.
Miami is doing things, and Fitzpatrick is, God, he's an old man, but he's not bad. I still take San Francisco.
My concern with them pulling Fitzmagic is Tua mania. Is that he comes in and sparks that offense, and you guys might win, but I don't know if they cover. Like, it's hard for me, so I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going to go with the Dolphins just to be the opposite of you.
To be the jerk?
Yeah.
That's fine.
But remember, last week I didn't take the Browns. I did take the Cowboys, and they covered. Now, I would lose that bet all day long if the Browns won in real life. But I know what it's like to not want to. I just got to go with the Dolphins on this one just for that fact that we don't know. Now,
fair enough.
This next game may not happen either. The Denver Broncos are at the New England Patriots. We know Cam had it. They played on, but now Stephen Gilmore has it. They're going to have to shut down the facility. Are they going to be able to play in time, or are they going to be having to move their game again? Maybe another Monday night game. Maybe like the Cowboys get Thursdays forever because of Jerry Jones. COVID gives you the New England Mondays. Like, this may be the next couple of weeks, and that's only if it's just him.
And we can't keep doing this, though. There's only so many games you can fit and keep moving, and we're going to run out of.
And then what happens?
And then what?
You give them ties.
Or do we move the Super Bowl back?
Well, here's the thing. So the NFL is crafty. They hold the first right of refusal for the following 4 weeks after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the entire month.
So if they need to push the Super Bowl back a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, logistically speaking, they can do so.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. You may have to, what'll be weird is what if some of these teams get through all 17 weeks and they're done, but now we got weeks 18 and 19 happening for 6 or 7 teams, 6 teams that have missed a week or two. We're waiting now to find out about playoffs.
Playoffs?
After the season is over? Like, how are they going to do that? Are they going to, They really need to nip this in the bud, and I don't know how you do. I think a lot of people have been talking about that. Pleeple, with an L, Pleeple, have been talking about how it's almost impossible because it's just such a big, like basketball's able to do it.
They were in a bubble.
They're in a bubble, and it's 12 guys. It's 12 players. Then they're 12 and 7. They're under 30 per everybody on a team.
Total, yeah.
For total. I mean, that's not even, that's half of the roster, not to include in football.
It's not including staff.
Training, everything.
Oh, yeah.
Everything. So it's just not possible to do. I think this is a suck it lottery. If you get it, it sucks. But they're going to do everything they can to prevent it. But at the end of the day, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Like this happened with Cam. If they're following procedure and protocol just like everybody else, it's kind of not pick and choose, but it sucks. It's bad luck.
Or you're just going to start forfeiting games.
Which we've talked about with Tennessee. If this happens a second week now, are they forfeiting? They're going to have to really consider having to do that.
And they're undefeated.
And that stinks. Yeah. That stinks. But if the game is not being able to be played because of one team can't show up and fill a roster, then they have to forfeit. So if that means you have to go into the game with a third-string quarterback, third-string running back, and you assign some guys off the practice squad, and you have to fill a roster so you don't forfeit, or you're just going to take the L, that conversation's going to be coming. With that being said, there's no point spread on that game. I would obviously take New England in this game regardless if it's our homeboy Cameron Newton or if it's Stidham, because it'll be Stidham, it won't be Hoyer.
Yeah.
Either way, I would take New England in that game. I don't know what the point would be, but I'll take New England.
I'll take New England either way. Denver's still a mess.
Now, this game is Now, I think Vegas is doing this on purpose because I think secretly Vegas is fading the Browns. They love the Cleveland Brownies, but they don't want to give them the respect because they look at this shit. Indianapolis Colts on the road at my Cleveland Browns, and the Browns are a 1.5 point underdog at home. 1.5 points. That's a slap in the face. I hope they look at this. Not they're going to play any harder because they're going to play just as hard, but if you look at the stat line with how many plays they've ran, penalties, yardage, this team is almost identical across the board. I saw that stat earlier today on the internets. I'm taking Cleveland all day, even if they were a 3-point favorite.
They're not going up against Dallas's D, though.
Yeah.
Indy's D's a whole heck of a lot better.
They are the number one defense in the NFL right now, according to statistically speaking.
And even though it does hurt me to choose, I'm still taking Cleveland.
Okay, I was getting ready to write you in that you're taking Indy because you were leading up to that
showed
hard.
Up last week.
Yeah, I think offensively they've got it. They've got the right mindset, and that defense is on fire right now.
Hopefully, with Chubb out, it won't make too big of a difference.
Crazy to say that who I believe to be the number one or number two running back in the NFL being out doesn't matter, but it kind of doesn't matter. With Nick Chubb, with having who they have, Nick Chubb, Dearness Johnson, obviously Odell Beckham, he had 73 yards rushing last week. As long as they have that type of stuff, bro, listen to me. It doesn't matter.
I'll tell you what I think. It doesn't matter what you think.
Because it doesn't matter what you think. That team, that offensive line are maulers right now. Maulers. Capital M maulers. They are destroying people at the point of attack to where guys aren't getting touched until they're at the second level. Kareem Hunt's going to eat that up all day. Dearness Johnson runs like Alvin Kamara. Yeah. They've got the horses. And if we have to go away from that, dink and dunk all day. You got Hooper. You got Njoku coming back. You got the horses on the ends. Maybe a big Jarvis Landry game. They are, what everybody's been saying is they're the team you don't want to play against right now. You don't want to face this offense because they have a little bit of swag. But if you noticed, their coach is keeping everybody in check. Everybody in check. They didn't even tell the media who got game balls. We're going to keep that internal. We're keeping game balls internal because there's no noise coming out of the facility. Do you hear anybody barking about anything? No. Because I think it was, listen, we're going to fight for us inside this building. We want our fans to be proud. This is how we're going to do it until otherwise proven. And they bought in.
So the Browns are finally doing something right.
They're finally doing, they look like they're doing something right now. Me being a Browns fan, I've said that for like the last 17 years. Oh, they look like they're getting it right this time with this first-time head coach. But they look like they're getting it right. All right, moving on.
Miles Garrett coming off the end, too.
Oh, he's been killer.
To get Phillip.
He's been killer.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
He's been killer.
Yeah, I got Cleveland all day.
All right, so now this next game, the New York Football Giants are taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Now, obviously, the Cowboys absolutely have to destroy them. It's in Dallas. It's an afternoon game, as it always is. It'll probably be on TV like it always is. They're a 9.5-point favorite. They have to blow the doors off the Giants, which a Dallas Cowboys offense has no problem. The New York Giants offense stinks. Like stinks. With a hard S. Stinks.
This is another one of the coaching.
So
0-4.
Dallas gets this right. I think they win by more than, I can't say more than double digits, but 17-20. I think that they need to come out and do this. They have the horse. Everybody's healthy for them to be able to do that. The Giants' offense stinks. Their defense stinks. They can't stop Dallas. This would be a Dallas loses this game. They don't believe in their coach, and I can't believe I'm saying that 5 games into the first season with that coach. But
I don't think so. I think Dallas handles this. Dak threw up over 500 yards
yeah,
last week.
Yeah.
And still, it's anybody's game. The Giants could still win this division.
Which is crazy.
There's only a total of 3 wins out of the 4 teams in that division. In the NFC West, we have 11. That's outrageous.
That will lead to the conversations if this continues to be the trend that one of these teams are going to get in with almost being under 500 or something like that. And then you're going to have a team that's going to be 11-5, not make it because they're in a division where one wild card already went, another wild card. Like, this is going to be a bad spot if one of these teams doesn't get it together. And who thought we'd be saying it about this division?
Go in with like 6-8.
Yeah. You can't. We can't have that. We can't have that. All right, the Sunday night game. It seems like Mr. Unlimited Russell Wilson. He's amazing.
Oh, he's doing.
He's unbelievable. I like making fun of him because he calls himself Mr. Unlimited. I mean, we can go into that. That's his persona off the field.
Hey, he's married to Sierra.
That's a whole nother conspiracy theory story we can get into later. But Minnesota Vikings seem like they were putting it together, getting things right for the first time this season. I feel bad for them. I appreciate the Vikings. There's no way they're going to handle this smoke coming from Seattle. And I'm not talking about the city burning down. I'm talking about the 12-man. Yep. They are only a 7-point favorite, which I think is a kind of a sign of respect to Minnesota because Seattle's been tearing it up. I still take Seattle in this. I think Russell continues to do what he does. Probably throws 5 touchdowns, 342. Probably throws 1 pick. Metcalf continues to be what he's doing. I think Tyler Lockett. I mean, these guys are going to continue. They're going to put 37-plus points. I think they win the game. I think Minnesota keeps it close, but I don't think they're going to cover. I think it's like 37-28, 37-30. If it's 37-31, they cover. I don't see them kicking a field goal late to make it that. So
Russell's still on his MVP trace. He's got the most touchdowns, 16, 2 interceptions. Yep. They stay perfect. Seattle covers.
Now, real quick, going into that, you say you MVP, 16 touchdowns, 2 picks.
You going to bring
Josh
up Aaron Rodgers?
Allen. I'll give Josh Allen some respect here. He's got 15 touchdowns, so 1 less touchdown, 1 less pick. He's got more yards.
Correct.
Okay. We'll go over to Aaron Rodgers. He's got 2 less touchdowns, no picks. He's in between them 2 with yards. And then Pat Mahomes. So this race is going to be fun to watch because I don't see any of those guys letting up.
Or what happens if they have to forfeit a game? Or something.
Yes.
So what that takes away.
It's going to be interesting to see. I hope the voters get it right. I know with this big operation we got going here, you think we would be voters, but we're not. All right, moving on. The Monday night game, last game of the week, the Los Angeles Chargers with Justin Herbert, killing it right now.
Dude.
Looks like he belongs in the NFL. Big, strong arm man. He can launch the ball. They're at the New Orleans Saints. No Michael Thomas still that we know of. Right. I haven't heard of for sure yet, but I'm assuming no Michael Thomas.
I believe he's out.
They're 7.5-point favorite, the New Orleans Saints. I think the Chargers are going to do what a lot of these teams that aren't ready to win yet. They're going to be in games but not win games. They'll be in this game. They gave Kansas City all they could handle. Yeah. Look, last week as well. I think New Orleans wins this game. I have not picked the cover because I'm not going to pick the New Orleans Saints. I think the Saints win, but I got the Chargers to cover the 7.5. I think it's going to be a closer game. They won't ever be in control, but it will be a close game.
I think it'll also depend. They might have to move this game because of Hurricane Delta.
And that's going to go to Indianapolis. So that gives nobody really a quote-unquote favorite.
If they stay in New Orleans, I'm picking New Orleans. I
Okay.
think they're going to move, so I'm taking the
Okay.
Chargers to cover
Okay.
right now. But
I like
if they end up staying, then I could see where I'm sticking it.
Now, real quick before we get off of here and move on to the next week's episode, how many did you get right last week against the spread? Do you remember?
Oh, no.
Did you
I know
see it?
We only had 2 games that were separate.
We got.
And I won those 2.
Okay. Well, I got 9 right.
So I got 10.
You had 11 on a good week then. Wow. That's awesome. Yeah, because I was looking at because I didn't take the Browns. I didn't take the Browns. I took the Cardinals. They lost. Like,
Right,
oh, yeah,
right,
take a
right,
look
right.
real back. You know, you can go back and
So,
look
okay.
here. I took the Jets. They didn't cover. I took the Cardinals. They didn't cover. I took Tampa Bay. They didn't cover. I took Indy. They covered. I took Jacksonville. They covered.
See, I had Cincy on that one.
No, sorry. Yeah, you took Cincy. They covered, so I didn't get it. You took Dallas, or you took Cleveland. You take Cleveland?
No, I took Dallas.
Okay, so we both didn't get that one. I got Baltimore,
Yep.
New Orleans,
See, I took Detroit.
Seattle. The Pitt game didn't happen. I took Minnesota. They covered. I took the Rams. They covered. I took Buffalo. They covered. Kansas City. They covered. I took your stinking Niners.
Me too.
And then I took Green Bay, and they covered.
Yeah.
So not bad. If I would have just taken my brownies and stuff, I'd have had another 10-11 week. That's big money.
What were those 3? You said Green Bay for the 3-game parlay last week? Was it Green Bay, Seattle,
I want to say it was Green Bay, Seattle,
and the Baltimore game?
and the Baltimore game.
You got all those right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd have been a nice 3-team. That'd have paid $750 on a $100 bet. That would have been nice.
Only in Arizona.
Or if we could just drive to Vegas, which probably should be done at some point, make a little day trip. I guess Laughlin, but if you're going to go make bets, go to the Mecca.
Yeah.
So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, for James out west, Ryan Rooks, another
Thanks,
episode in the books, week 5. We'll see how next week goes. Until then, everybody, be safe, be kind, be smart, be patient. And we'll leave it at that.
One love.
Y'all have a great day. Thank you.